Let's talk cycling, as Houston native Lawson Craddock was just named to the initial U.S. Olympic cycling team.
Olympics have been a lifelong dream for, I think for everyone, and for me to take a big step into making the long team.
Craddock drew international attention back in 2018 when he crashed during the first stage of the Tour de France, scraping his head badly and breaking his shoulder blade.
There's a lot of issues that I had after the crash that day, and incredibly difficult summer in 2018, but it was extremely rewarding.
Craddock showed the world his physical and mental toughness as he turned his mishap into a fundraiser for the Alkek Velodrome, where he used to train as a kid. The velodrome was damaged badly during Hurricane Harvey.
I think we ended up raising over $380,000 for the velodrome in Houston. So, I mean, that's incredible, and it's something that'll I'll take with me well beyond my career. And I can't necessarily say I want to do it again, though. It's too painful.
Craddock says he hasn't seen the recent ESPN documentary on the rise and fall of fellow Texan Lance Armstrong, but he's well aware of the black eye his sport incurred as a result of Armstrong's well-publicized doping scandal.
Has the sport recovered from that? He was such an iconic figure.
Absolutely, and I don't think we'll ever really see another Lance Armstrong in the sport. And it's definitely, the sport definitely went through a tough spot for a couple of years. But in our eyes in the peloton, we really see kind of resurgence in the last few years. I think the racing has become incredibly exciting for fans to watch, and there's nothing quite like being on the side of a bike race, watching us fly by or racing up these mountains and being a part of that. There's something to be said about this sport, and how close and personal you can get with the actual riders and athletes that you can't get really anywhere else in any other sport. Yeah, I think we can say pretty for sure that cycling is very alive and well here.
Give us an idea of your regular routine, because you continue to work out probably at least 5 days a week, right? How many miles do you put in a day?
Yeah, I try to be on the bike almost every day. During a normal training week, especially here in the summer in Texas, because it gets so hot, I try to be out on the bike at around 6:30 to 7, just so I can get 4 or 5 hours in before it gets really too hot. I mean, this morning I went out and did 4.5 hours, is about 90 miles or so.
Wow.
Most weeks I try to get in around 450 to 500 miles a week on the bike.
So that's the thing. You're training, you can social distance, but how about events? Will you have events coming up, U.S. cycling, later this year? What's the plan?
Yeah, it's tough. It feels like every time you try to make a plan, something else changes, and you have to basically just throw that plan out the window. Hopefully I can head back to Europe some point soon. The original plan was maybe try and head back in the first couple of weeks of July, but we'll see if we can still do that. And the UCI, which is cycling's governing body, have kind of put out their schedule where racing starts really at the beginning of August. So hopefully we can get over to Europe and then kind of start to put all this stuff behind us and start racing.
And we wish Lawson the best as he plans to head over to Europe for more road cycling competition later this summer.